Okay, so I don't know if anyone's tuned in online, but if you are, a big hello to each of you. I mean, well, like this. So I was asked to present tonight on the FamilySearch Digital Library, but I want to introduce myself. My name is Michael Hansen. I am the North America Operations Manager for Digitization and Content Support, is what they call it. It's changed its name probably 5 times. But basically, we are um, my team is in charge of accomplishing the work of records preservation in North America, which involves about 76 camera projects, 25 book scanning centers. I have about 200 missionaries that report to me that are service missionaries or full-time missionaries. And I have 7 employees on my team. And in fact, Glenn Wicker from Payson Family Search Center is our newest full-time missionary. He and his wife are going to be serving in one of our book scanning centers in Missouri.
Did you pull strings for him?
No, he pulled strings for us. That's so we get really excited when one of our own gets called. We like to roll out the red carpet. And Brother Bloomer served a records preservation mission in Chile. Peru. Yeah. And what was that like?
The time of my life. I had the best time. Okay, it wasn't like a mission, it was like a vacation. Oh, that's it.
And where did you go? What were some of the places that you remember the most?
Well, initially we started serving in Lima, okay? And then they transferred us to Cusco.
Okay.
And I will brag a little bit. I got very good at cameras. Okay. So when we got to Cusco, which was an amazing place in itself. I mean, you couldn't get sent to a better place. It's probably the #1 vacation spot in the world. Okay. And so we worked there, and Chris got sick um, from altitude sickness, and she went back to Lima, and I stayed there and worked in the archives for another couple of months.
Okay.
But it was just I'm not, if I told you, we would travel around on the weekends and do other things and give seminars and stuff on and sign people for Family Search. So that was a whole extra thing that we got to do. But if anybody asked me about that, they think I was lying if I told them what a good time I had.
Well, I'll tell you the names that are caught in these records and in these books that we scan, they make it to the temple and we do the work for them, for those names in the temple. So every time I go to the temple and I look at the name that I have, I look and see where it came from. If it came from somewhere in the United States or Canada, I know what project that is. And I know what missionaries captured those records. And it is so cool because I have that added measure of gratitude and joy, not just for the name, but for the people that actually digitize those records, which is really, really cool.
What I didn't tell you this, but maybe they found out what a good time I was having down there. Okay, because the church sent a film crew down
Oh,
and followed us around for a week and a half. So all the things we were doing beside record
so you had your
preservation.
camera set up and
Yeah,
you
we
were
had the camera and
scanning
it
and
shows all that stuff.
a
And
camera
we did a
crew.
fireside the other night
Yeah, I heard about that.
at the center over there. And we showed that little video clip. I mean, it's not little, it's about probably 15 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we have a copy of that clip, but it showed all the good fun things we got to do because
That's cool.
so I would go again.
Can you get to
It's just
that?
a glimmer
Can you get to that video clip on YouTube?
I think so. Jim Klein, we sent him a copy.
Okay.
Okay, so he's got a copy and I think it's still on there and Chris has a copy if you really want to see it.
Okay.
But anyway, not that I won't shut up because I had such a good time.
Well, no, that's great. We depend on those video clips to spread the joy of what it's like to be a records preservation missionary. So anyway, thanks to the hard efforts of volunteers and senior missionaries, we have now this year 630,000 free books on the digital library. It was maybe 3 years ago that we crossed or 2.5 years ago that we crossed the 500,000 mark for the first time, and it's growing. It took us like 7 years to get to the first 150,000 books. And now we are 130,000 past that and growing like crazy. We can't wait to get to 1 million. Yes.
Okay, but 633,000 images or books?
No, books.
Books, okay.
And every book on average has about 220 pages. So let me see if I can do this math right here before your very eyes, like a magician. I'm going to do 630,000 times 220. That's 138 million images. Now, if you consider that there was a study done on our books, and there's an average of 11 and a half names per page, times that by 11 and a half, and our book collection has 1.5 billion names. And even if half of those were already in the tree, that could be 750 million. No, yeah, 750 million names.
I read the other day that the church has 18 billion searchable names. So is this part of that or?
Yep,
yes?
it's all part of that.
Okay.
And so what we're doing right now is we are looking at new technologies, because right now, up until today, what we've done is we've digitized the book, we make the text searchable, and we put it online so that you can do a full text search that you can't do elsewhere on our site yet. But in the books section, you can. You can do a full text search. You're not just searching about the book, you're searching the content of the book. But we're not stopping there. We have a team in Europe and a team here in the United States that is exploring creating trees from books. So we are using AI and computer automated technologies to extract the names and link the relationships so that we can create a tree from a book. Whether it's in directory form or paragraph form, to be able to create that tree. So imagine being able to digitize a collection and create a tree without somebody having to go through and read all the books.
So, of course, you couldn't do that with a high school yearbook. There was no connection there.
Yeah, so not all books have lineages or pedigrees, right? So not all books will have trees per se, but all books are important that they have names, dates, and the places where they lived and what was happening in those areas when they lived there.
So do you mean that you don't have to get inside a particular book to do the search? You can search from the main menu.
Right.
And it will look inside every book.
So we're not part of the one search feature now. So the main search box on the FamilySearch homepage or on the records homepage does not search the books collection yet. So you still have to do the digital library search. We're going to do that together here in just a second. So, but we're going to show you just a couple of things that maybe you knew before, or maybe it's a good refresher. But we added 45,000 books just last year. So out of the 630,000 books that are there now, 45,000 were added last year.
I kind of a question.
Uh-huh.
This December, or last month, they changed the submission rules.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Okay.
And the reason, one of the reasons or the explanations I got for doing that is that, well, first of all, if you're not connected with my relationship anymore, you can't submit a name for temple work. But they said in the future, and I don't know when that future will be, that everybody will be so connected to this kind of effort that you'll be able to submit anybody you want. But because that's the way the work's going.
Cool. Okay, so the first thing I want to introduce you to is a page you may or may not be familiar with on FamilySearch. There isn't a direct link to the page. You have to know the page exists.
All right.
Okay.
Can you remove that bottom
Oh.
line there?
Yeah, how do I do that?
There's more thing, there's a, see the top, yeah, right there.
Hide floating panel.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
excellent.
Okay.
So here we go. Right now, I'm going to introduce you to the FamilySearch Library homepage. Did you know the FamilySearch Library has a homepage? It's familysearch.org/library. If there's a link to it from the homepage, I've never seen it.
Okay.
But familysearch.org/library will take you to the library. If you go familysearch.org/library/books, that takes you to the digital library. But let's start with the library. There's some really cool things here. If you want to know about visiting the library, you can click this button. But let me actually just jump right to some services that may interest you. You can explore the library's collections. You can get help with genealogy from here. If I click this, let's click this together. We're happy to assist you with your family history questions. You can receive help in the following ways. Sign up for a free 20-minute online genealogy consultation session. Did you know you could do that?
Never done it, but I did know you could.
And you can send people here if you're helping them and they need expertise help. So you can schedule that right here. You can get translation and research help by posting questions. So if you go to the FamilySearch community, you find a topic of interest and there's a forum that follows that topic. You post your question and anybody following that can give you their answer.
Pam and I worked in that for a year.
Did you? What was that like for you doing that?
A little frustrating.
Okay.
But
Behind the scenes, it was a little frustrating.
Yeah, but it was useful. It helped a lot of people.
What were some of the topics that you covered?
I covered Russian military.
Oh, cool.
Just military in general.
So did you know that we have stopped capturing images in Russian territories
Because of the war.
and we have 50 cameras and growing. We're trying to get to 100 in Ukraine.
How many are great?
And it's growing. The head of the Ministry of Archives or the Ministry of Records or whatever they call it in Kiev,
Yeah.
came to Roots Tech. The year before. And no, it was last year. He came last year. And anyway, we were really excited to host him. No, it was the year before. Sorry, it was the year before.
Well, if the war's over, by the time our mission ends, you could send us to the Ukraine.
To
I
Ukraine?
speak Russian. I read Russian.
Немножко.
Don't speak it. Read it.
You read it. Okay, cool. All right. Other ways you can get help, where you can receive in-person help at the FamilySearch Library. So clicking this will help you with that. But you can schedule these sessions. So this is something that not a lot of people know about. So be sure to keep this in mind. I'm going to go back. Other things here on the FamilySearch Library homepage. It's memory lane. Digitize your tapes, photos, slides, books, home movies, and more. Not every FamilySearch Center can do that, but you can here at the Payson FamilySearch Center because of all the awesome equipment that you have, including the book scanner that you have here that will be here until March.
And we're gonna keep this one.
And we're gonna let the Zoiches stay. Yep. You just can't plug the computers into the network without alarming many systems. All right. Discovery experiences that the library offers. You can click on them here. Learning resources and genealogical websites. You can also schedule a group visit. Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay, so if I was going to look up book scanning, where would I go? Where do you think?
Search.org and then search and books.
That's to look up the digital library. But if I'm here on the library homepage, I would probably go under memory lane. Let's see what memory lane offers. You can convert your stuff. Let's see. Where do I go to scan books? In the library, they have book scanners that you can use. So you can get your stuff scanned. If all of the equipment here in Payson magically disappeared, they do have book scanners up there that you can use. They're not as sophisticated as what you have here, but okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go back, and this time I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to go to visit the library. Let me see what's under visit. Hold on. I want to see if they have take a digital tour of the entire library. Let me see. I'm going to take a digital tour of the entire library. Let me take a look at this. If I go to the library and I go to the B2 floor, there's a video tour coming soon. But if you come off the elevator, which is right up here, and you look down the entire hallway or through the room, we have book scanning operations there. Up until 2 months ago, they had 6 brand new copybooks running full time, 8 to 5, scanning books. But they want to scan the whole library in 10 years, not 30. So we just installed 12 more. So if you go to the library today, there are 18 copybooks, all scanning books. I've never seen a site like it ever. We have 50 machines worldwide. 18 of them are right here in Salt Lake in the FamilySearch library on the B2 level, scanning the whole library as fast as we can. It's cool. So what we do here in the Payson FamilySearch Center is an extension of what we're doing in the library, only we're doing collections here that we don't have in the library. We're scanning yearbooks from all of the high schools in Utah. And we have 75% of them scanned now. So if you graduated from high school here in Utah, chances are we probably have your yearbook. And if we don't, come see Glenn Wicker.
You know that we need some more yearbooks. I don't know which schools we need.
Okay, we've got the list. We can show you which schools are next. We can do that for
Because
you.
I just want to keep the missionaries busy until it doesn't work anymore.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Right.
Yeah,
I tell a story.
sure.
A non-member friend from California came up and stayed with me for a few days. His mother had died when he was very young. He'd never seen a picture of his mother, and so I started with some genealogy for him, and it was in a yearbook. Yeah, and he'd never seen his mother before.
Wow.
It was really a neat experience. He was Jewish too.
Okay, so the tour isn't ready, but soon you'll be able to go down and see and go on a virtual tour and see the scanning center. Anyway, what I'd like to do now is I'm going to take you to the digital library. So instead of familysearch.org/library, I'm going to go to familysearch.org/library/books. And this time I get a new homepage, and this has a giant search bar on it. And we're going to look for titles of books. We're going to look for names that could be in books. We're going to try to find books of people that we may not have records for. And this is really interesting because people will often say they have a brick wall after brick wall, but we might have had a book on that ancestor the whole time, and people just don't know about it. So the other way to get there is to go up to search and down to books. It's so easy. Yes.
What's the difference between this and images, where you can search images?
So images is historical images, historical records. It's documents, like government documents.
Oh, okay.
The books are written histories of the people and where they lived. Journals that are older than 70 years. It could be the history of Payson, like Petite Neat Town. Where does Petite Neat Town belong? Under somebody's memories page? Probably not. It belongs, it's right, it's too big, too many families, too many names. It belongs in the digital library. But before I actually go there, I want you to see right above where it says catalog. For the past 3 years, this catalog has been stuck. But it's now been updated. And so this catalog represents the 630,000 books that we have and growing. And many of the books have links that will direct you to the digital library. So if you look up a book in the catalog and it says to view a digital version of this book, click here, it'll redirect you to the library. So you don't just have to come to this homepage. You can go to the catalog now, and we are adding links in the catalog like crazy. All right, so I'm going to click here, and there's some really cool search tips. If I click view search tips, you can look for exact phrases. And when you look for exact phrases, you put something in quotation marks. If you don't do that, if I look up John Johnson, it's going to look up all of the Johns and all of the Johnsons and all of the John Johnsons. So you want to have quotation marks. You can use Boolean searching. You use and, or, and not for drilling down to what it is you're really looking for. You can look for John Johnson and Maria Johnson, putting everything in quotes. You can also now use wildcards. You can use an asterisk to replace any character. So if there's a different spelling or, something like that, that can help. What I like to do is I like to search for nothing. Don't put anything in there. If I just search for nothing, what happens?
396,000.
So it says I've got 396,724 books, but there are more. I need to click protected. I need to click all of these. I have extra permissions that you can't see here. So how many books do we have? If I search for nothing, that is your secret code for knowing how many books are in our collection.
Okay. Where did you click those other things?
So down here under access level, there's some things here that the general public doesn't see. So I just needed to activate all of them. 634,962 books to be exact. That's how many books we have today. When Brother Wicker goes on his mission, we're probably gonna hit 800,000 just from him alone. Okay. So I've spent half of the time telling you about what we do. I want to tell you a little bit more, and then we're going to do some live searches together. It's going to be fun. So we have 25 book scanning centers, but many of those projects have now closed. And we are down to 16. So at the end of last year, our Cape Cod project wrapped up. Our Cardston, Canada project wrapped up. Our Houston, Texas project that we've had going for 10 years, 14 years. It's done. The Ontario Ancestors in Canada, done. Ontario Archives, done. So a lot of these book scanning centers that we had now have all of their books and directories scanned. Do you think it would be fun to scan a directory, like a phone directory? Our missionaries love it.
What happened to London?
And London is still there, but they're using employees right now. And they've got 2 copybooks, 2 employees, but at some point, I think they'll use missionaries, but they're just not ready yet for missionaries. So I know, right? I asked them, by the way, and they said we would love it, but not quite yet. Give me just one second. So anyway. Let's do a search. Think of an ancestor that you would like to look up. Maybe it's an ancestor that you have not found very many records on, but you have a brick wall. I would love to start with that. 50% of the time, I'm actually successful. The other 50% of the time, I crash and burn miserably. But I love it when we strike gold somewhere. So let's start with the bloomer. Who's yours?
Ithamer Bloomer.
Ithamer?
Ithamer, I-T-H-A.
Now that is a cool name.
M-A-R.
So I'm putting it in quotes. I want you to watch me do this. Ithamer, like that. I-T-H-A-M-E-R.
I think it's A-R, but
Oh, A-R.
yeah, it's like a biblical. E-R makes sense, but.
You want me to do a wild card?
Pardon?
I'm going to do a wild card. Let's see what happens.
Oh, okay.
Could be A, could be E. I'm looking at 630,000 books for Ithamer Bloomer. Okay, so that has nothing, but let's go ahead and adjust it because maybe there is something. Oh, I've got 6 books that have to do with Ithamer spelled with an E. Now let's do it spelled with an A.
Why not? Hard to catch that.
Yeah, I'll have to report that to the engineers, and I've got 3 that are Ithamar. How cool is that?
Okay, now I know 2.
Do you know the family history of Kenneth F. and Marie K. Kittleberger? Do you want to know what it says? We don't need to open the book. We can just come down here and see Daniel and Ezra, grandson Ithamar Bloomer, wife Lois. Are you interested to read this? Should we read it? If I click here, it'll take me right.
That's too contemporary. This guy was born in like 1790. I think this guy's from,
Okay.
I run across this, I think this guy's from Switzerland.
This guy was from Switzerland? Okay,
No,
I
no,
trust you.
No, that's my book.
That's your book. Yeah.
That's my book.
Look at this one. Hey, that's cool.
But I don't know
Ithamar
who his
Bloomer.
parents are, and I don't know who his children are either.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's look up Ithamer.
Spelled an A-R in your book.
Yeah.
And here's Ithamer
That's
with an
the
E.
biblical spelling, but I didn't see the spell with let's see, I-T-H-U-M-E-R.
Oh,
So it's spelled
So
different ways.
take a look at this. Orange County Wills,
That's what he
1787 to 1831. Grandchild Ithamer Bloomer. Now, are you really excited?
Yes, because I don't know about this one.
Let's go check it out. This takes me right to the page. I'm just as excited as you.
Yeah, well, I doubt that.
I'm going to zoom in.
Okay, Peter.
Earl
that's
Peter
his will.
Monroe,
Okay,
recorded, right?
Yeah,
Will made June 17th, 1818.
no,
Wife Lois.
no, that's Earl's wife.
Peter
That's
Earl.
Earl's wife.
It's
He's the
Peter
grandson.
Earl, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sons Elam, Daniel, Ezra, John.
Yeah.
Daughters Rachel Payne, Hannah Payne, Nancy Knowlton, Polly Weeks, Elizabeth Galloway, Sally Earl, Martha Mapes,
Yeah.
Susanna Earl, Charity Cornell, grandchild Ithamar Bloomer. So we know who the grandparents are.
Yeah, right. But I hadn't noticed the Lamoureux or Lamoureux name in that before. And I could connect Lamoureux with Ithamer.
Cool.
Okay, so that I'm familiar with this. That's a will that was written in 1819.
Okay, it's a transcription of a will, and you've seen the actual will.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, this.
But I don't have that. I have a copy of the will, but I don't have that.
Okay.
I didn't notice that.
So the access level on this is public, which means you can search from home and you can do what I just did.
Right.
If it says protected, you'll be able to see the little snippet down here, but you won't be able to open the book. And very soon you'll be able to go to the Family Search Center in Salt Lake and be able to view the protected books. Or you could just go look at the actual book. But for a limited time here, I can show you the books that I have access to. So during my presentation, I can show you these books. Here's another version of that book,
Yeah.
but digitized elsewhere. So let's take a look and see if the images are any better. No, it looks about the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Those are the same books. So here we go. Let's go down. What about this book here? The Family History. Oh, we already looked at that one.
Yeah, that's not him.
Oh, it is not known how grandson Ithamar Bloomer relates. Let's take a look. I think they might be referring. The will of Peter Earl, dated June 17th, 1818, in town of Monroe, mentions his sons, daughters. It is supposed that son John and daughter Susanna were the children by his second wife Lois. It is not known how grandson Ithamar Bloomer relates. The estate was not finally settled until 1875, and the court summons of that year has been invaluable. So now you have a little clue, and you have other documents referenced.
Yeah, the best clues there for me is that
The will.
Lamoureux,
Lamoureux.
but he was just shown as a witness.
Yeah, but I know the connection. I know the connection.
Okay, now here's another book. Early Orange County Wills, 2 volumes in one. This one's protected. And I can go into this book here
Looks like the same thing.
because I'm going to help
Yeah.
you. Yeah. But now you can read it a lot easier. So we don't know how Ithamar Bloomer is related to the grandparents, but we do know the grandparents.
Well,
We think.
no, the thing is, I couldn't get his work done because I didn't know his parents and I didn't know his parents, okay? I don't know who they are because the Earl will did not name him. So I struggled and I put the daughter, I didn't put her first name in there. I just put Mrs. Ithamar Earl Bloomer, and then it let me do it.
Okay.
So, but now I have a better clue because the Lamoureux name, I know that name.
You know that name. That's
I know
cool.
that name.
Well, here's your book. Now here's one more book, and then we're going to go to a different name. We're going to do a different search.
Yeah, I know that.
Do you know this one?
Yes, I know that.
Okay. Well, let's look at it. The Journal of Reverend
It's
Silence.
Will too.
So it talks about Peter and Benjamin Earl and to grandson Ithamar Bloomer.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry,
Oh,
John Jefferson.
hold on just one second. What about this one? The history and genealogy of William Bull and Sarah Wells of Orange County.
I'm not familiar with that,
This might be that same book.
but Highland is part of Orange County, New York.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same book.
You spoke.
I just want to go down and make sure that we've looked at all the books. I don't want to leave you hanging. Okay. All right, so that's one example. Let's look up another relative. Here we go. Let's go, Brother Wicker, and then we'll go to you.
Oh, okay. John Jefferson McClure. MC capital C-L-U-R.
Okay. John Jefferson, MCCLURE.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look. 630,000 books. Do we have any that say John Jefferson McClure? We've got two. The second census of Kentucky, a privately compiled and published enumeration of taxpayers, so it's a tax book, does say John Jefferson McClure. Let's take a look. Okay, what does this say about it? He lived in, oh, there was a John McClure that lived in Jefferson County.
Yeah. Well, one of those could be him, but.
And there's another John McClure that lived in Jessamine County. So probably not the exact guy that we're looking for sure. And then there's this Alexander Kin book. What is that? Now we have a date. Let's look. Okay, it's highlighted right down here. John Jefferson McClure. Look at this. December 5th, 1882. Carroll County, Tennessee. Is that about right?
Birthday? Doesn't say.
Died. Yeah, it's a birth date. Died December 21st, 1971.
Yeah.
So 1882 is not the right guy?
No, he was born in 1802. So probably a descendant, for sure.
Named after him, probably? Okay. Well, we could try another spelling real quick. We could see if it's John without an H.
It's probably not gonna list his middle name. That's the problem. And John McClure is too common.
So can we try John J. McClure? Okay, we got 65 books with John J. McClure.
Alan was born too late. They said he was born in 1834. Yeah, it's too late.
Yep,
Oh, continued on page 17. Does that mean it's going to show his parents?
I think so. Let's take a look at this. Do you want to look back and look at page 17? So if we want to do that, we come up here to thumbnails. Let's go look at the page 17 that we're looking at. Okay, so that's 21. So let's go 4 back. 20, 19, 18, 17. Is this 7? Is that it? Oh, shoot. Wait.
There's John James McClure right there, born 1834. Father Robert McClure. So that's probably his father. That father, probably a brother to my John Jefferson.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. Let's go look at that.
Is that cool? And now they spell it. Do they still spell it the same? Well, what we could do is on the right here, we can see all the instances of John J. McClure and go right to them.
Okay, yeah. Okay. How about I look at those? That's good. Thank you. John J. McClure. How you found that?
So here are all of the ones mentioned. James, Jesse, John J. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back. Let's keep going. Tracking in Crawford County. John J. McClure. I don't know what this is, but we can look. Sandus, let's see. Did he live in Ohio?
Kentucky is where he was born,
Okay.
and but his son was born in Illinois, so.
Oh.
Around there.
Okay, so we have the ancestors and descendants of William Rapelye Cole, son of John J. McClure and Lula McClure. Let's see. All right. Let's take a look. Pennsylvania. Was he a judge? Excuse me. Hey, well, this might be some good, fun Sunday reading for you. 58 books or so. What was it? All right, 65 books. All right, let's do another search for your ancestor.
Benoni, Benoni.
Like that?
Hammer and then. And I.
Benoni?
Benoni, yeah, that's it. Patton in his last name.
Like that?
Hansen, New Hampshire, yep.
Okay. I'm searching.
He's an illegitimate child,
Okay.
and we can't find anything on him. We've even gone to the records that they've got there.
Okay. So believe it or not, I just found 57 books.
Oh.
And let's see what we've got.
Private Benoni Patton. Oh, that's a whole article on private Benoni Patton.
Private Benoni Patton. Was he a Revolutionary War soldier?
Yes.
He was born January 27th, 1757. This is fact or fiction. That would be interesting to learn about him.
See, it doesn't give you the parents on it.
Let's see.
Yeah, we know about her too. Benoni got dropped off the porch. We don't know if Patton is reading his last name.
After Benoni's death, several of the Patton children joined the Mormon religion and moved west with their extended families. Much more research is needed before coming to a final conclusion to this family mystery. Private Benoni Patton was in the right place at the right time in history to have served under the command of Benedict Arnold, but did he? No written proof of it was found in the records. However, generations of his family members insist that it is so. Several family lines have been proven by daughters of the American Revolution with no mention of Benedict Arnold, but who knows? Let's go back because we've got a lot more books here. That's just one. Let's go to here.
Oh, that was his parents' name right there, Archibald Patton.
Yeah, let's go back a page. John Patton Sr., son of Benoni Patton and Edith Cole. In 1841, he was baptized in Nauvoo for his father, Benoni Patton, his brother, Benoni Patton, his sister, Polly Britton, and his brother, Luther Britton. Is this the right family? Okay, well, let's go back because I've got 55 more books to go.
You gotta pick up your daughter in 12 minutes.
Yep. Let's see.
Right.
So in other words, there's a lot here for you to check out to see, but how do you get here? You go up to search and down to books. What's that?
Is it public?
So if they say public or full permission, you'll be able to read it.
Okay, great.
If it says protected, you can search it and you can see snippets to see if it's the book you want. But then you've got to go to Salt Lake to get the physical book. Is that cool?
Great.
All right, I'm gonna leave it open for questions now. I didn't realize I'd have a 100% home run hit tonight.
Just to refresh this, I can go to this by FamilySearch.org/library
Slash book.
book. Okay, that's like, okay.
But you can get there quicker just by going to search.
And down to
Down
books.
the book.
Oh,
But I wanted to point out the library's page, FamilySearch.org/library, because nobody knows about the library.
okay.
Hey, well, thank you.
Okay, any questions?
What's the difference with records and
So the records are usually documents that have public access rights. So it's governed by the law of like the state where you live, the county, the country. And the books collection is governed by copyright law. Somebody created that book, published that book. So it's got copyright attached to it. And so it's a whole different rights management system.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, there you go. Thanks for having me come tonight.
Thank you.
Stop the recording there.
I'll sign out here.
Are you leaving right now?
Hopefully that was
great.
interesting.
I learned some stuff from that and I appreciate it. And now it's going to be on our website, so others can look at it. Where'd my Zoom go?
I'll send you some stuff.
I will call you.